brothers and sisters, how's it going today? This is the In My Grow Show, the podcast dedicated to taking the mystery out of cannabis. I'm still Alex Robles. So I thank you guys for taking some time to hang out with me again. Once again, I want to thank DJ Monster Drop for all his help. And I also want to thank bensound.com for letting me use their music as my theme song. I want to thank all the artists who let me use their music on my podcast, actually. So today I decided to come down to the beach to record this episode. Let me know what you think. You may get some background noise from the waves, and there's also a road nearby that might get some traffic noise. Like I said, let me know. Alright, so I'm going to start off by talking about what I'm smoking on. I picked up a little bit of flower from my local dispensary, a strain called Sherbert, which is a cross between Girl Scout Cookie and Pink Panties. I want to stop right there because really, guys, Pink Panties, this is what you're going to name your strain. That's fine, I get it. You know, you took the time, you made the strain, you get to name it. Whatever you want. Cool. What I'm suggesting is just a little more class. A little more class in naming them. You know, because I can't imagine my mom, who's about 70, walking into a dispensary and asking for a strain called Pink Panties. I don't think she's going to do it just on principle alone. But that's what I think. You know, a little more class, everybody. Alright. That's a pretty good strain, too, this sherbet. It was a little dry when I got it. I wish it was a little less crispy. But, you know, I could just throw a leaf in there, a cannabis leaf, and it'll moisten up in a couple of days or in a day. Now let's see, for my vape pen I'm using a cartridge that's from Absolute Extract. It's a strain called Candyland. It's pretty good. I mean, you know, it has that obvious sweet taste to it from the name Candyland, and I like to keep my vape pen, since it has an adjustable temperature or voltage. I'm not sure how that breaks down. It might be voltage. I keep it anywhere from between 3.6 to 4.0, just because I feel like I get a better flavor that way when I keep it to those numbers. That's what I've been hitting on lately. Now, what else? Okay, well, let's see. Today we're gonna get a report from the Cannabis Frontline, and I want to talk about Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania, the state allows hemp and they allow medical. Right, they do not allow recreational. It is still illegal to get high for fun in Pennsylvania. So in Pennsylvania, they allow for about 18 medical conditions that you can get cannabis for. A lot of them seem to be nerve pain related or, you know, central nervous system related. They don't allow migraines, and they don't allow stress as a condition. So you know what that means, folks? That means I could not be a medical patient in Pennsylvania, which is probably why I don't live there. Well, no, there's a lot of reasons why I don't live there. One of the bigger ones is I don't like to live in the snow. I don't like to live in the snow. I like to visit the snow, but I don't like to live there. I am not that kind of Mexican. Nope. Alright, so back to Pennsylvania. Let's see, patient possession limits. You're allowed 30-day supply. Only cannabis-infused poles, oils, topicals, ointments, tinctures, or liquids are allowed. Okay, I don't know what poles are. P-O-L-L-S. I guess Uncle Google could tell me, huh? But it doesn't, you know, on this list they don't allow flour, which is pretty sad, man. That's messed up. You don't allow flour. Nobody can just sit there and roll a joint and feel better. And they don't allow for home cultivation. You cannot grow your own medicine if you're a patient. You have to buy your medicine from someone. You know, they have licensed medical dispensaries. You know, they allow for caregivers. Okay, so I'm going to read something from the law. And it says, under Section 2106 of the law, it is not a violation of state law if a patient or guardian of a minor under 18 years of age lawfully obtains medical marijuana from another state or territory of the United States or any other country to be administered to the minor. So how I understand it is, if you can't find the medicine you need, the cannabis medicine you need in Pennsylvania, you can get it from another state. but I don't know if they allow you to bring in flower either way. Yeah, I wonder how that works, because you're not allowed to bring cannabis over state lines in the states where it's legal. Yeah, so there you go. That's Pennsylvania in a nutshell. Now, I got this information off the NORML website. That is normal.org. They have a bunch more information, especially about the penalties if you get caught with cannabis and you are not a patient. Like I said, it is still illegal to get high in that state for fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a short break and I'll be back. Podcast Nation, I'm back. Thank you for letting me take that break. So somebody had sent me this article over Facebook talking about Monsanto's and Bayer getting into the cannabis game, and about how because they have deep pockets, they're able to patent genetics, and they're going to wind up patenting genetics in cannabis. You know, the way they did with corn, tomatoes, whatever they're patenting genetics for, lots of different things, I'm sure. Okay, and this isn't a recent worry about Monsanto's and Bayer and all of these big companies getting into the cannabis game, because the people that I spoke to, we kind of realized that as the cannabis industry matures, these are just some of the realities of business in the agricultural business. You know, that's just how it's done. You know, growers and cultivators, people who come up with new strains, in my opinion, they really do need to think about patenting those genetics. How I understand it, if I'm a breeder, I breed a strain that, I cultivate it for a couple of years, I get it to where I want it to be, I release the seed, and if I haven't patented those genes in that seed, that particular combination, and I put it out on the market, it's out in the wild, Monsanto's and Bayer can pick up those seeds, grow them out, patent those genetics, and then charge anyone who wants to use those genetics to cross it with something else. If they don't pay them, then they can sue them, take away all of their genetics and all of their money. And like I said, I've spoken to other breeders before, and they tell me, it's really expensive and it's not easy. And I agree. It is expensive and it isn't easy. But I think it's something we need to think about if we want to keep control of what we've made. Because these companies, they've got the abilities, they've got the money behind them to do it. Now, how do small-time breeders do this? I don't really know what the answer there is. I mean, maybe there's a coalition or a co-op that breeders could get together in and pool the money. I'm not really sure, but there's got to be a solution for them. Let me know what you think. Find me on Instagram at InMyGrow, or send me an email at inmygrow@gmail.com. But let's get the conversation going, because, like I said, as this industry matures, especially in agriculture, these big companies are going to want to secure their investment. And the way they secure it is by patenting these genes the best they can. So, yeah, it's an interesting conversation to have, and I think we all should have it. So somebody had sent me a question over Instagram, and this was, this is Lost in the Sauce 420. And he says, just got a bunch of seeds for an indoor small grow. First time was unsuccessful because I transplanted way too early, and it withered because I'm not sure if my lighting was correct. I'm planning on growing one plant first, and was wondering what you recommend for a setup. I'm thinking the space bucket method, and when to introduce light. And then he also writes, I've soaked the seeds for a day, and when they sunk, I put them in a wet paper towel in the darkness until they sprout. Okay, so let's take that piece by piece. First of all, what I suggest is that take the wet paper towel with the seeds in it and put them in a Ziploc bag. And close the Ziploc bag. Make sure there's a little bit of air in it. You want to create like a little pillow. I'm going to zip that up. I leave my seeds in there for 2 days when I do it this way. I check them every day, but I don't leave them in there more than 2 days. Because by 2 days, they already have a nice big taproot. They're ready to go in the soil. Like I've said in the past, you just want to be really careful when you're putting those sprouted seeds into the soil. You know, I grab tweezers and I grab them by the little seed head and I put them in there real carefully. That's the best way to do that in my opinion. Let's see. Next, lighting. Okay, so for lights, the rule that I typically use is about 75 watts of LED light per square foot of grow space. Okay, and that's for plants that are seedlings and plants and veg. That's what I recommend. Typically what I do, I usually do about 75 watts. You know, there are a lot of great lights out there. There's a lot of really different kinds of lights out there. So it's really going to depend on what your size needs are and what your budget is. If you need help from there, once again, get a hold of me. I'm on Instagram. Give me, you can send me an email. I'll try and help you figure it out. All right, now, the space bucket. I gotta be honest. I had to Google that. I didn't know what it was. At first, I thought it was some kind of hydroponic bucket. But it turns out it's a grow space inside a 5-gallon bucket. What people do is they get 4 or 5 5-gallon buckets and they stack them in a way that it makes them deeper because you have to cut the bottoms off of them or cut spacers for them. But they stack them so everything is in that bucket. The plant, the light, the fans. And it looked really similar to something I used to build years ago. I called it the rocket can because I used to use trash cans. Either the rubber ones or the metal ones like the ones you see Oscar the Grouch in. Either one of those works. Because they come in a lot of different sizes. You don't have to stack them. If you're going to use the trash can instead of trying to build a space bucket, I suggest painting the inside of the trash can flat white. Because flat white is going to reflect more light than Mylar. I saw somebody line the inside of a 5-gallon bucket with Mylar in one of the YouTube videos. And save yourself some time and aggravation and just paint the trash can flat white. Also, you can wipe it down really easily. Another reason why I like to use the trash cans is because they're big enough to where I could put 2-foot T5s. I could put 3 2-foot T5s going vertically, up and down, and has enough light for everything I need. Okay, and then the fans were just computer fans that I had bought. And if you go to my YouTube channel, In My Grow, there's a couple of videos on there on how I use computer fans and a couple of barrel connectors and make them so I can plug them into the wall. So I can just plug them into the wall socket. So lost in the sauce, I suggest you just save the buckets. You know, those poor buckets don't need to be chopped up that way. Just get a nice trash can the size that you're going to need it and convert that. And also, once again, if that's the route you want to go, get a hold of me again and I'll help you put it together. It's not hard. It's super simple. If anybody else wants to know, also get a hold of me. Find me on Instagram at InMyGrow. Email me, inmygrow@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to walk you through it. At the very least, get you a better idea of what it's going to look like. Yeah, thanks for the question, Lost in the Sauce 420. I appreciate that. Well, brothers and sisters, I think that's a show. Once again, I appreciate you guys taking the time and hanging out with me. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Wherever you listen to podcasts at, just subscribe to it. Now, if you want to support the show, you can go to the website, inmygrow.com, and click on the link that says support the show. You can become a Patreon member, support the show that way. All right, or you can click on the Amazon link and support the show that way. And all that does is you click on the link, it takes you to your Amazon page. You shop normally, and the show gets 3% of the final sale. It's kind of like a finder's fee that Amazon pays the show for taking you to Amazon. If you can't support the show financially, don't worry about it. That's not a problem, okay? Here's how you can support the show, though. Tell 3 people about it. That's all. Just tell 3 other people about it. All right, brothers and sisters. Well, I am going to get out of here now. Maybe I'm going to go jump in the water. But remember to grow, learn, and teach.